have arguably been some of the most controversial in the game's history. Previously, we've seen jetpacks added in. Those were controversial but ultimately removed rather quick. We've seen the planes, those were rough, but they ended up getting removed too, and same deal with the Infinity Blade. But the mechs and the turbo building and the various other things this season have caused a lot of issues with the greater Fortnite community, and all of this just might have led to the cancellation of Fortnite Season 11. I mean, we've had 10 pretty solid seasons so far, but how much further is Epic Games going to take Fortnite Battle Royale before they dip into the realm of Fortnite 2 or maybe an entirely different game? Today we're breaking down exactly why Fortnite Season 11 could be cancelled and Fortnite in general could be coming to a close relatively soon. I know some of you might not believe it, and really what we are getting into today is some pretty spicy stuff, alright? But first, let's talk about the steps that have led up to this. As I mentioned in the intro, these past few months with Fortnite Battle Royale have been extra rough in terms of the community's support towards Epic Games and also just Fortnite in general. This past month, more Fortnite streamers and content creators have switched to playing other games like Minecraft or World of Warcraft because they're just growing tired of the constant handouts that Epic Games seems to be constantly adding into the game, catered towards the most casual of players. Now, there is no denying that the vast majority, I would say upwards of like 70, maybe even 80% of the Fortnite player base consists of people who simply play to enjoy the game. They're literally just there to play it. They're not there to be the best builder in the world with all of the fastest edits and the best gun skill in the entire game. They're more so just there to chill out max and relax all cool, and they're taking the game not too seriously. Now, prior to, I would say, around Season 7 or so, these players were not catered to nearly as much as they are now, but then that all changed, and as you guys will see as we get later on into the video, these changes could very well result in Season 11 and Fortnite in general being cancelled for good. Anyways, Season 7 came rolling around, and with it we got the introduction of a handful of new things. But really what we need to focus on is the planes, because those were a massive controversy when they first arrived, and honestly they stayed that way until they were removed later on. From the get-go, honestly, everyone thought the planes were pretty cool. You know, you could fly around from place to place and get around the map a whole lot faster than ever before, and frankly it made all of those Visit Lonely Lodge and Polar Peak in one match type of challenges pretty easy to complete. But much like most of the items in Fortnite Battle Royale, once it's been in the game for a little while, people begin to learn the ins and outs of it and the do's and don'ts, and they can begin to abuse the item and make it more effective in game. And that is exactly what happens with the planes, and it really didn't turn out for the better. Now keep in mind, this is really just phase 1 of the cancellation process, and we'll be moving through more of the phases as we get later on into the video. But basically with the planes, people began to realize that you could use the boost mechanic to completely destroy builds and thus third party and build battles, and potentially get 2 elims for the price of none, to be frank. And that boost mechanic, when tied in with the ability that the planes had to fire a machine turret, made for a world of hurt if you were a player on the ground. That third-party meta became extremely annoying once the planes were introduced, and thus a lot of players were furious that the planes were available all throughout Season 7. But like I said, this is really only the tipping point of the iceberg. You know, get it? Because, you know, iceberg, like the iceberg biome, Season 7 map update? Yeah, that sounded better in my head. Anyways, as you guys will get to see as we get further on into the video for today, things only got worse, which is why Season 11 really isn't looking too great as of right now. After the planes came, the Infinity Blade was introduced, which was a special weapon found at Polar Peak that ultimately made you an elimination machine, as the blade pierced through health, shield, builds, and just about anything else you could name. Oh, and also the blade allowed you to boost jump a pretty decent distance, so not only was the blade incredibly effective for taking out enemies, it was also very effective for moving around the map. So it was kind of like a best of both worlds type of scenario, but the sword benefits don't stop there. The Infinity Blade was also available in competitive matches for a brief amount of time, which ultimately meant that late game, whoever had the blade was able to dominate the battlefield, as they would crush through builds and players alike, leaving everyone else in the game who didn't have the blade on a swift trip back to the main lobby screen. So within Season 7 alone, Epic Games made multiple mistakes that had a lot of players extremely upset, as most people felt like these items were just a handout to the casual players, allowing them to earn more eliminations without needing a ton of skill. Which, obviously, when you do lessen that skill gap, that's gonna make most of the better players in the game pretty upset. So with that, let's jump to present day here in Season X or Season 10, where things are probably at an all-time low for Fortnite Battle Royale. As I said in the intro, in the past month or so, more Fortnite streamers and content creators have left Fortnite to play games like Minecraft or WoW Classic or other games to avoid the headache that is Fortnite public matches right now. And that's largely thanks to the Mechs, which are easily the biggest handout item that Epic Games has ever added into Fortnite Battle Royale. I think it is pretty clear that the Mechs, since the start of the season, even to now where they have been slightly nerfed, are still way too easy to use in-game. Regardless of your skill level, the mech is basically a point-and-shoot elimination machine, as you can literally spam your rockets, which destroy builds and health like no tomorrow. You can spray a shotgun, you can stomp, you can boost jump, and then also boost slam. And so, much like the planes, the mech robots are essentially a 2-in-1 battering ram that have benefits in the gunfight and also the movement departments, making it a major crutch item to use in-game. And of course, if you don't have a mech robot available, well, then you are at an extreme disadvantage. So ever since Season 7, it seems like, there has been more and more issues arising in-game at the hands of Epic Games, trying to be innovative and unique with their updates, and in the past, Epic Games has been pretty quick to adjust broken features. Think back to the double pump, which was a meta that a lot of people loved, and also a meta that a lot of people hated, and that was ultimately nerfed into the ground. The planes were removed at the soonest possible point they could be, the Infinity Blade was vaulted rather quick, the drum gun has been vaulted twice now, and pretty much up until Season X, we've seen Epic Games admit to their mistakes and make up for whatever damage was caused. But now that's not so much the case. Sure, the mechs have been nerfed since the launch of Season X, but truthfully, as long as the mechs are in the game and they're able to be beneficial for both movement and engagements, they're going to be overpowered and broken. Turbo building was thankfully reverted, though it wasn't clear at first if it was going to be ignored like the mechs or not, but altogether, Epic Games seems to really be pushing the buttons of the community, which raises the question, why? Are they seeing player numbers dwindle down so they're trying to cater more to the casual players? Are they trying to utilize whatever random ideas they have left in the idea bank? Or are they simply trying to send Fortnite Battle Royale Season X off with a bang? Just being realistic here, I know not everyone wants to hear this, but Fortnite and Epic Games can only keep this up for so much longer. They've kind of dug themselves a pretty deep hole while also being the most involved developer team in history, as every single season they try to one-up themselves and go bigger and bigger and bigger than ever before. But at some point, Epic Games is going to hit the ceiling, and with the final showdown event being as epic as it was, and with the map sorta at a standstill for true new locations, and with all of the mistakes that Epic Games continues to make with their updates, it seems like that ceiling is approaching quicker and quicker by the week. So we've got about half of Season X left here. Could this be the final time we spend on the Fortnite island as we know it? Well, a lot of people are thinking that could just be the case. Maybe this will lead up to the debut of Fortnite 2, or maybe this will lead to a major reset. But as of right now, Season 11 is not looking very bright, which has led a lot of people to think that maybe Epic Games isn't planning a Season 11 at all, and maybe something else is going to replace it. But I guess for that, really only time will tell. However, by all means, feel free to leave a comment down below, letting us know your thoughts on this situation. Do you think Season 11 is going to take place, and if so, will it be a better season than Season X? Or do you, like many other Fortnite players out there right now, think Season 11 could end up being cancelled due to the hate and disdain that a lot of the community is feeling towards the game right now? Of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, let us know, drop a like on it, give it a big old thumbs up as it would be much appreciated. And if you are brand new here to the channel, feel free to subscribe with your post notifications turned on, that way you'll always know when a new video goes live. With all of that being said, that is effectively going to wrap things up for today, so thanks for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys on the battle bus. Peace out.